Morning students. In a previous class we had already started with the degrees of comparison. I had told you the basic things of what a degree of comparison is, of what positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degrees are. I have also told you to go through the list of these adjectives so that you don't make mistakes, and the basic three rules that you have to follow, that is not to change the tense form of the sentence, not to change the meaning of the sentence, and to use the correct adjective. Now let us move on to the next part. Remember, whenever you are transforming a sentence from one degree to another, in a positive degree you have to use as right before and after the positive degree, that is the adjective, or you have to use so as before and after the adjective. For example, Ram is as good as Ravi. In this sentence, there is a clear comparison between Ram and Ravi. The adjective used is good, and we use as before and after the adjective good because good is in the positive degree. So this is a comparison of equality. Ram is as good as Ravi. That means Ram is equally good as Ravi. None of them are better than each other. So we use as. This is how this comparison of equality is implied by the use of as. Similarly, we can also use Ram is not so good as Ravi, or Ram is not as good as Ravi. In these two sentences, you will see that the sentences are in the negative form, and we have used not so good as Ravi, which means that here is a comparison of inequality. Both are not equal to each other. Rather, Ram is not so good as Ravi. So who is better? Definitely Ravi is better. This is called comparison of inferiority. I hope it is clear. Next, let us move on to comparative degree. In a comparative degree sentence, we use the comparative degree of the adjective, which is better here, and right after the degree of adjective we have to use than, than than, and not then then. I repeat, it is than than. Better than. For example, Ram is better than Ravi. Here who is better? Ram is better than Ravi. Better is in the comparative degree, and than is used after the comparative degree as a rule. In the third, superlative degree, we use the before the superlative degree of adjective. We use the definite article the. This you have also learned in the rules of articles. The is always used before the superlative degree. For example, Ram is the best boy in the class. If we omit the Ram is best boy in the class, that makes a wrong sentence. Ram is the best boy. So the comparison is here between Ram and the rest of the boys in the class. And who is the best? Ram is the best. So we cannot use superlative degree without the use of the. Okay, let's now transform some sentences from one degree to another. Look at these examples here. Iron is the most useful metal. Here, which is the adjective? Most useful, and it is in which degree? Superlative degree. Now, if we are to transform this from superlative degree to positive degree, how should we begin the sentence? With no. No other metal is as useful as iron. Like I had told you, there should be as or so as used before and after the positive degree. Here the positive degree of most useful is useful, and no other metal is as useful as iron. You will find that the sentence in the superlative degree is in the simple present form. So the degree, the tense form of the sentence has not been changed. In the positive degree also it is the same. Is used. and the meaning also remains the same. The meaning also has not been changed. Now, remember, sentence in a positive degree tends to become negative. This is one important point that you have to remember. In many cases, you will find sentences, whenever you transform from superlative to positive or from comparative to positive, the sentences in the positive degree tends to become negative. Now, the same sentence transformed from superlative to comparative degree. Iron is more useful than any other metal. Here also you will find the sentence is in the simple present form, so the tense form has not been changed, and the meaning of the sentence also remains the same. Iron is more useful than any other metal. More useful is the comparative degree of useful, and iron is more useful than any other metal, because in the first sentence we had learned that iron is the most useful metal. So there is no other metal which is more useful than iron. So the meaning also remains intact. Now remember one thing, in a comparative degree, like I had told you, after the adjective we have to use the than and any other. This phrase is also very important, than any other. This you have to use than any other. You cannot write than all other. This should be written as than any other. So the important points that we have learnt here is, transformed sentences in the comparative and superlative degrees in most cases begin with the subject itself. Like here, iron is the subject. This is in the superlative degree. In the comparative degree also, iron is the subject. So both the sentences in the superlative and the comparative begin with the subject iron. And in the transformed sentence in the positive degree, in many cases begin with a no, making the sentence a negative one. So remember, these are used in most cases and not always. Not that you will find always positive degrees beginning with no, or that they are always negative. But this is only in transformation that most of the times we have seen that we have to transform the sentence in the positive degree to a negative in order to keep the meaning of the sentence intact. So keep these important points in mind while you are transforming the sentence from one degree to another and vice versa. Okay, let's take up some more examples. No other boy is as tall as Jacob. Tall is the adjective. It is in the positive degree beginning with the word no. So the sentence is in the negative. Now transforming this into comparative. Comparative degree of tall is taller. So we begin with the subject, like I told you. Jacob is taller than any other boy. Beginning with the subject, use of the comparative degree of adjective and the phrase than any other. Sentence is in the simple present as the question. Now superlative degree, Jacob is the tallest boy. Beginning with the subject again. Sentence is in the simple present tense, and tallest is the superlative degree of the adjective tall. So Jacob is the tallest boy. Use of definite article the before the superlative degree. So in all aspects the sentences are correct. Present form, no change in meaning, as well as correct adjectives used. Next, number 2. Mumbai is richer than any other city in India. Now, this is in the comparative degree. Richer is the adjective in the comparative degree. Mumbai is richer than any other city in India, which means that there is no other city in India which is as rich as Mumbai. Okay. Now, superlative degree for the same sentence. Mumbai is the richest city in India. Because the question tells that there is no other city which is as rich as India, that means which is as rich as Mumbai in India, that means Mumbai is the richest city, and no other city in India is as rich as Mumbai. This is in the positive degree. Rich is in the positive degree. No other city, beginning with the negative word no again. So no other city in India is as rich as Mumbai, because we have already known that Mumbai is the richest. So again, all the three aspects kept intact, no change in meaning, no change in tense form, and the correct adjective used. Number 3, milk is the most nourishing food. Here the sentence is in the superlative degree. Most nourishing is the adjective. Most, because nourishing is a word with more than one syllable. So nourishing, more nourishing, most nourishing. Milk is the most nourishing food. Milk is more nourishing than any other food. Comparison between milk and any other food. Which is the most nourishing? Milk. So milk is more nourishing than any other food. No other food is as nourishing as milk. This is in the positive degree. So most nourishing, more nourishing and nourishing. All the three adjectives used correctly. Meanings not changed. Tense forms not changed. So these are the things you have to keep you have to be very careful about while you are transforming the sentences or interchanging degrees of comparison. Okay, we will be sending you a list of a document, in fact, of many such sentences. Many of you will be having, must be having the Wren and Martin book at home. Please practice from there. You don't have these exercises in your Oxford English textbook. We will be sending a list of these sentences for you to interchange degrees of comparison. Thank you, children.